totally lured by the incredible white sand beaches. Cadell today, he really is one of Scotland's most famous 20th century artists. He was trained in Paris and Munich, and he really brought back to Scotland the French avant-garde way of painting, a love of colour, a way of portraying light. This is in watercolour, and this wonderful, spontaneous brushwork. And then look at the colour of the hills, that deep purple and green. Do you have any idea what it's worth?
No, Grandad didn't say. No idea.
I love that it's been hanging there.
Yeah.
And it's the sort of thing that if it came up to auction today, I'd probably put an estimate in the region of £7,000 to £10,000.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
I hope he's pleased with that.
Yeah, I know, I'll let him know straight away. Wow, thank you.
Well, what do you think your granddad would say?
I think he wish he could have been here today to hear that news, but I think he'd be delighted with that. And as I say, it's a very special place for him and my grandma, so.
Our experts are getting busy, so we're all pitching in to help our visitors with their prized possessions. What have you got in here?
I have assorted Chinese pottery and a glass heart.
A glass?
I don't know what it is.
Literally, I thought you meant a heart shape. Do you like it?
No.
No, I'm not sure I do either.
I need to tune it properly.
This is a Marion Wilson brass mirror. The mirror actually used to live in this area originally when it was made. So although I now live on the east coast of Scotland, I thought I would bring it back.
Well, when coming up to Glasgow, I had a little tick list of things I hoped I'd see. And one, of course, is that wonderful essence, that vibrancy, that joy that is work from the Glasgow School. And boy, have you delivered, so thank you. But tell me, what do you know of this glorious mirror?
The mirror was originally my mother-in-law's. From there, it's come along with me because I feel I'm a custodian to the mirror. More recently, I've come to live near my daughter, and she was going to hang it up on the hall. And she looked at the back and she said, "Mum, have you ever read the notice?" And I said, no.
Well, I feel we ought to read out what it says. We're all waiting with bated breath.
Yes.
Designed and worked by Marion Wilson for Charlotte Stewart,
Yes.
who gifted it to Margaret Lawson on her wedding day, and actually it's dated 1929, which really is quite late for this movement and this style.
Now, the bride was my mother-in-law, and it was her aunt, Charlotte, that commissioned the mirror from Marion Wilson.
Wow. So we have a direct link.
Yes, definitely.
Now, if you look at it, I mean, apart from just the sheer joy of it, the style of it, the essence, just everything that it evokes, we do just have down here MHW, which is Marion Henderson Wilson. Now, we've got to look at Glasgow at this time, and it was a city that was absolutely in full force. People all over the world looked to Glasgow as arbiters of style and taste. And of course, we've got those key names: Charles Rennie Mackintosh, Margaret MacDonald, Jessie M. King. But you look at this and there's so much in it, isn't there? And this is a hammered brass mirror, repoussé work, with these wonderful, almost tree of lives leading up to these Scottish or Mackintosh or Glasgow roses.
Yeah.
But there's something more to yours, which is this circle that runs through to unite them. And my reading of it, and it is merely conjecture, is I think this is an addition, and I think this is uniting the two trees of life to symbolise the marriage. So you are merely a custodian.
Yes, yes.
And are you going to become a custodian?
Well, interesting you say that. I would love to think I might get the mirror passed on to me, but I know my brother in America, I think he's secretly got a red dot on it, so
Do you know what? I could argue, should it ever leave Scottish turf?
Yeah.
This has obviously huge family significance to you, but there still comes a value. So I think it's worthwhile that you should know, and this is a market that is ever growing. And I think this wonderful mirror, with its history, with its connection with you and the family and the whole story therein, in the current market, we're looking in the region of £3,000 to £5,000.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, I would never have guessed that.
It ticks every single box that you would want to see. You only have to look at this and know where it was from and the time it was made. So thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Well, thank you for telling us all that. That's wonderful.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
very much indeed. Thank you.
I think it's been absolutely amazing to be here because it's so important to Mum. And in terms of the value, that's just a lot more than we actually thought. I'm not sure it's something that we'll be rushing to sell.
You always hope when you come to a city that's so driven by such amazing style that something will come out. And boy, it did. So I'm really, really thrilled.
This is quite a lineup, isn't it? I mean, what brings you here with these?
Well, I love this guy. I mean, I think these guys are quite stylish, but this guy is just really quite powerful and kind of dominates the room.
And where did you get them, though?
So I got them a number of years ago. We were going in OUTBRK, which is in Argyll. We walked past the charity shop, which had its free bin outside, and these were in the free bin.
Really? They're all good sculpture.
Yeah.
How did they end up in that bin? I mean, this has got a date underneath of 1952. I reckon that's 1945. If I had to keep one, that would be the one. A European has done that, looking at probably African, oceanic tribal art.
Okay.
And there was a group of people, the German expressionists, and that's what this reminds me of. Ernst Ludwig Kirchner. I'm not saying Kirchner did this, but it is exactly the sort of thing he did. This is one piece of wood. It's a very heavy hardwood.
Sure.
And I would say this one's like 300 to 400.
Wow.
I think this is 200 to 300 to 400 pounds.
God.
If this was German expressionist, it would be £50,000 upwards.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't relinquish this until I'd researched it thoroughly.
Okay. Sure.
But as it is, I still think it's 500, 600, 700, 800 pounds.
Yeah, amazed and amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just a short swing from today's roadshow is Pollock Golf Club, founded in 1892. Now in Scotland, we always expect to see a bit of golfing memorabilia. So a bag of clubs bearing the name of legendary golfer Seve Ballesteros, winner of 3 British Open championships, is bound to set pulses racing.
What I brought today is a tournament used bag of Seve Ballesteros. I do play a lot of golf, sadly, not like Seve. I've been collecting golf memorabilia for 25 years now, and bags similar to this I now have over 200 in the collection. In 2000, the bag cost me around about £100.
I'm thrilled that you've brought along some golfing memorabilia. And not only that, but it relates to one of golfing's great, Seve Ballesteros. Just the mention of the name gets me excited. Tell us a bit about the pieces you brought along today. Let's start with the bag.
My passion is collecting items relating to tour players, Seve being my absolute hero. And in 2000, this bag came up for auction, and it really is one of the top items in the collection just now.
What sort of stage was the bag from in Seve's career?
When it was advertised, it came up as it was tournament used, and I've done a bit of research on the bag since I've got it, and every indication this bag was used in the US Open in June 1980.
Okay, so that's good provenance, we like that. And then the clubs inside the bag, what's the story with them?
They are Seve clubs. They are engraved with his autograph on the back. Now, this is one of 4 sets of irons that were made for Seve in Japan in 1991. I got this set from a former European tour player.
Yep.
He had seen Seve use a set of the clubs, and he asked Seve if he could have one of the other sets. The nice part of the story is that the tour player then goes and wins on tour, and in the field, one of the players he beats is Seve Ballesteros. So he actually beat Seve using a set of Seve's own clubs.
And then, this is from the US Masters, yeah?
Yes,
Which is, you know, Seve really came to the limelight in America after winning there, didn't he?
Yes, yes, winning the Masters. These items come from 1997, which were on the caddy overalls. So this will be on the back of the overall, and the small Masters one will go on the pocket in the front.
Yep.
Also, there's the accreditation for Seve's caddy in 97 along with it, who I got the items from.
And then we have, I really like the golf balls at the front because we have that wonderful silhouette of Seve with the moment that all golfers remember when he finally won the Open at St Andrews, 1984.
1984.
I remember it clearly, and I remember the great thing about it was when he holed that putt, which he's celebrating there.
Yep.
The roar, for people who were there, that they said the roar was like Hampden Park.
Very much so, and very iconic. And Seve actually had that image tattooed onto his arm.
Oh, I didn't know
before
that.
he passed away. Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Let's talk about the values, because they're, in some ways they're fairly recent purchases.
Yep.
You know, they carry this whole aura of Seve about them. You've got great provenance on the pieces, and that makes such a difference. The bag, which we think was in the US Open, I would have thought that should be maybe around £500 on its own. The clubs, I would put them in slightly more. I would have thought maybe £600 to £800 for those.
Yeah.
This is a bit trickier because Masters memorabilia, as you say, doesn't come up quite so much as in actual pieces like that, and it's fragments of pieces. But I would still have said that someone, well, you'll know because you bought them, but I would have guessed about £300 to £500 for those. The balls, I really don't know what they're worth, but I do really like them. Are they worth £50 each?
I think that's a good shout.
No, listen, it's been an absolute joy to see these things. I'm so glad that you've shared them with us. It's not often that we get kind of modern day collectibles like this, and I'm a golfer, you're a golfer. We can appreciate just how much these actually mean.
Can I just get right to the point? I have news for you and for everyone else looking for Felicity.
You ready?
Give me a what? Give me an E. Give me an S.
We could do it together.
I'm not going anywhere.
Really?
Can you believe that? My life is so good now.
We're gonna stay for a while.
Stay as long as you want.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Are you gonna come with me?
Definitely, yeah.
Do you realize how amazing this is gonna be?
Discover your wild side. Today on Earth Day 365. Hunt with predators. Explore the unexplored. And uncover nature's mysteries. With premiere original series and exclusive IMAX theatre documentary films.
Explore your world every day on Earth Day 365.
Y'all boys ready?
This is insane.
Oh, get
Hi, I'm Pamela Anderson, and you're watching Earth Day 365 on the Roku channel. Growing up, I felt connected to the world around me. The ocean, the forest. Maybe if we step back and open our eyes, we can find ourselves again. Explore your world every day on Earth Day 365.
I don't have delusions of grandeur. I have an actual recipe for grandeur.
I'm coming for you. I would like to know who you are.
I find this really, really interesting. So it's a glass pen. The thing which is so special about this is that it's made in one piece of glass.
I found it when I was about 14. My brother-in-law had an antique shop, and when I was in one of these drawers, I could hear it rolling back when I opened it, and that rolled out.
So did you actually buy it, or was it
No,
given to you?
I gave it because I found it.
Oh, okay. It's almost an accident waiting to happen. But the real story is who is this lady, Janet Ferguson.
Yeah.
In 1893. She was using this pen.
Yeah.
If you look at that nib, so this is one piece of glass, hand blown, and it's a little twist. You had to be in a certain frame of mind, because if you was in a bad mood, you've broken it. But that is still fit for purpose. How have you kept it in such good condition?
I had a wee container that I made.
Yes.
It was plastic and plastic ends. I've kept it in that and a box.
What we do need to find is really the member of the Ferguson family.
True, yeah.
So if we can find somebody who's related to Janet Ferguson in the 19th century and say, this is her pen.
Yes.
Or not.
Maybe, yeah, that could happen.
Because it's so unique, I think at this moment in time, I would say it's worth between £200 to £300.
What's for that? Great, that's brilliant.
Whenever the roadshow is in Scotland, we always hope to see items relating to Robert "Rabbie" Burns, Scotland's national poet. Born in the 18th century, he toured his native land collecting fragments of old folk songs and celebrating the Scottish dialect. And as we've seen in roadshows before, anything with a tangible link to the great wordsmith is highly prized.
An original manuscript by Robbie Burns? I found that really exciting. I think at auction this would have to make between £8,000 and £10,000. Oh dear.
We even once saw a half-ton statue that had arrived from the other side of the world.
Now, where do you get this?
It turned out he'd actually been found in the 1950s in Durban underneath a compost heap.
What?
So today I wanted to find out a bit more about the national bard and why he's still so revered, not just here in Scotland, but across the globe. Chris Waddle is from the Robert Burns Birthplace Museum in Ayrshire. So when I think of Scotland's greatest poet and items associated with him, I wouldn't necessarily think of an old sock and some buttons.
Aye, absolutely. He's known as a poet, but Burns achieved a degree of fame in his own lifetime. And that meant that by the time he died, his star was already on the rise. It rose immediately again after his death. So people who had anything that belonged to him, they held on to them because they knew they were associated with Scotland's greatest man of letters, which is why, you know, in a collection of over 5,000 items we have at the Robert Burns Birthplace Museum, we have all the manuscripts, the books, the really important stuff, but we also have his waistcoat buttons and we have a pair of his old socks as well.
So he was born in 1759 to a poor farming family.
Yes.
And how soon did he begin to show his promise as a writer?
But his first poem, he says, I committed the sin of rhyme when he was about 15 or 16, and it was a poem called Handsome Nell, and not unsurprisingly for Burns, it was about a girl that he fancied, and that kind of set the stamp for the rest of his life, really.
As well as his poetry, Rabbie Burns is obviously famous the world over for Auld Lang Syne.
Yes.
That we all sing, don't we, on New Year's Eve, and keeping Scottish folk music alive.
Absolutely, yeah, he's a collector of song and he's a writer of songs as well. Some of them he wrote from scratch, if you will, and others were older versions of songs that he collects and he tweaks, and that's how we get Auld Lang Syne.
So here we've got Auld Lang Syne, and is this his handwriting then?
Yeah, this is Burns' handwriting. The printed version that you see is by Alan Ramsay, who was a great influence on Burns, but this is Burns' own copy, and it's interleaved, so every facing page is blank, and it means that he's able to write down notes, and he adds in here his version of Auld Lang Syne. We know that he tweaked it, but he did that with so many of the songs that he collected, so he's taken the germ of an old song, tweaked it, and he presents us with a version that's universal today.
What surprises me about Auld Lang Syne is how global it's become. Not only is it sung on New Year's Eve the world over, but also the tune was the former national anthem of the Maldives. It's sung in Thailand, it's sung in Korea.
I think there's something about the nature of friendship and longing in it that makes it so universal.
He achieved such great success in his life, but then he died so young, just 37.
That's right. He'd suffered from rheumatic fever, bouts of it throughout his life, and we now think with some recent research that it was a heart condition that saw Burns off.
But all these years on, his name still shines so brightly.
Yes, absolutely. We held a poll among ourselves about 15 years or so, and we decided that Burns is the most famous Scot that ever lived. And I kind of think that, and amongst all the stories of big hairy men waving swords about, there's a guy with a quill who stands out above us all, and I think that's a good message for the rest of the world.
I can get a sound out of it.
They do open, and it's normally this little spring here. This is what we wanted. There you go. And there you are.
That's
excellent.
Well, be able to help.
They're worth £120.
Yeah.
So will you use these now?
I think it would be a bit pretentious, don't you?
Is this an old family piece?
Yes, it is.
Right, okay. Who does the polishing?
Yeah, well, we brought a Paisley shawl.
We've visited Paisley to find out a bit more about the history, but we don't know much about the shawl itself, so that's what we're hoping to find out today, I think.
Well, a lovely, typical Paisley shawl made just down the road from here in Paisley about 170 years ago.
Well, this shawl belonged to my great-great-great-grandmother. It was gifted to her on her wedding day in 1854.
A wedding gift?
Yeah, she was a weaver in a Paisley mill, so
Wow.
it would have been quite meaningful to her at the time as a worker.
It's a kaleidoscope of colours and these beautiful shapes. And the Maharajas used to wear them draped over their shoulder. But do you like it?
I love it.
Do you know the history of these?
Well, we don't know that much about them, so
Well, Paisley has appropriated the name of these shawls. They were cashmere shawls from Kashmir in the foothills of the Himalayas from the winter hair of the goats. And it took two men 2 to 3 years to weave one shawl. They were so fashionable in the late 1700s, 1790, 1800, 1810. All the society ladies would be wearing a cashmere shawl. The motif was originally from Kashmir, and then they sort of made into these stylized shapes here that curve around and come small like that, was the way the trees looked there. And so they became the Paisley design from the pine motif originally, and there's another one there. They're all over, and they're all interlocking with all these amazing colours. Beautiful. Now, in about 1804, 1805, Jacquard invented the mechanical weaving machine. So instead of taking two men 2 to 3 years to weave one, the Jacquard loom could do it in a few hours. This is probably made from wool from English sheep.
Okay.
And dyed with vegetable dyes at this period. And you know, these things, they have a bit of a value now. I think one like this would be £500 to £600.
Wow.
It's really lovely.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that it's come from your family and stayed in your family and was made just down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, do you wear a suit ever?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
I think this draped over your suit with your look, I think you'd look fantastic. I really do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for bringing it.
Our experts are always on the lookout for new trends in the world of antiques and all things vintage. Spotting the next modern treasure takes a keen eye. And Edinburgh-based auctioneer Jamie Russell has spotted a rare piece of sporting memorabilia presented to veteran journalist Gavin Bell.
Before I came here today to the roadshow, I had a long list of items in my head that I thought I might see that would appear out of boxes and bags in front of me, but one of them was definitely not an Olympic torch. I wonder if you can tell us how you came to own this.
When I was a young lad, I was an 800 metres runner with a Glasgow club. So of course, as a boy, I dreamed of running in the Olympics one day. And then eventually, the dream came true in a way I'd never have expected. I was posted to South Korea in advance of the 1988 Games for the Times. And so while I was there, I met a couple of young English lads who'd been appointed to do the public relations for the torch relay. And they found out about my athletic background and invited me to carry the torch on the first day it arrived in Korea. I've no doubt, of course, they were well aware they would get good publicity.
Yes, absolutely.
And sure enough, the Times used the story on the front page.
Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic, and it's really, you know, amazing to see one here in sort of rainy Glasgow. And what's also great as a valuer is not only do we know from how it looks what it is, but you know, it tells us right here. We know it was made, obviously, 1988. Travelled from Olympia in Greece, where the procession started, and then all the way to the Olympic Stadium in Seoul, where the flame was lit. If we look at the actual object itself, I mean, it's a really lovely piece of design. I mean, starting at the bottom here, we have this sort of scrolled and gilt leather handle, and then the red cross piece here. Then the very distinctive Olympic rings here, of course, that we all know. And then around the top here, which sort of marks it more as Korean, we have here these crossing dragons and mythical figures. And these here signify unity between the East and the West. I think if this were to come up at auction today, you could very safely assume an estimate of around £1,500 to £2,500.
Really?
And as such an iconic item.
But I can't accept money for it. I'm an amateur.
Yeah. One to hold on to.
Thank you.
What's the most money you spent on the beach?
I might be scared to say it out loud. You know what I mean?
Why are you scared to say it out loud?
Dynamic duo, power suit. Let's do the pose, okay?
Bartender, can I get a Carisha, please?
Let's get it to him.
Because, you know, success, it's a beautiful thing, but you always got to be able to balance it, too.
How do I keep him going crazy? Check that account.
I'm just back in my bag.
I like to get that energy, yeah.
I'm just back in pocket.
Come out, wherever you are.
You believe in ghosts?
What the hell is that? You're not safe here.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
If you're watching this, you're already dead.
It's Friday night. Get your butt over here for some wine and Scrabble. Hurry!
And you are hot as...
Why can't you just be a normal mom and stop torturing me?
I have made fire! Okay, let's do this! Woo!
Magic is back and better than ever.
I'd like to give you a magical moment.
All they have to do is fool Penn and Teller.
Let's try.
I'm going to do something truly impossible.
Is it safe? Probably not.
One of the most amazing tricks you've ever seen, but we don't think you fooled us.
We wanted to do something that's really our own.
This is the part where I get hated. But not tonight, because you fooled us. Bring down the trophy!
So, I mean, I've got to say, this is quite an understated number you brought in.
It is.
So do we know how it came into the family?
Well, yes, and of course it's lain in a drawer for a good number of years. My father worked in China in the 1930s for 3 years, and he started out in Peking, and then he spent several years travelling in the northwest. He lived in a place called Shishashuang, and he travelled by donkeys, and I think it must have been a very adventurous time. So he always told me that it was a Tibetan monk's costume. So I brought it along, because we never really knew, to establish whether that is the truth of the matter.
It isn't. It's actually ceremonial armour. or parade armour.
Okay.
It dates from the very late Qing dynasty, probably around 1890 or as late as 1900.
Right. Okay.
It's quite a soft armour, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want anything to happen to you there. You've got no kind of protection at all. What I would say about it under close inspection is the velvet's in fantastic condition. You know, for something that is now, you know, 100 plus years old,
Sure.
you've got this lovely, ferocious, scaly dragon on the front with these sort of flaming scrolls and clouds in here, and then they're on your arms and obviously on various other places there, which of course was a very much an imperial emblem. I think if that came up for auction, I've no hesitation in saying that that would make as much as £5,000 to £8,000.
You're joking? Really?
Yeah.
Good heavens. Well, that is really fascinating to know and completely unexpected, I have to say.
Stop wearing it to fancy dress. Lovely thing.
Thank you very much.
Occasionally on the roadshow, we see royal treasures that offer an insight into the